So you can see there's a lot of, Future's really got a lot of great points about meeting and succeeding with beautiful women. And returning back to a couple of the key issues with the triad, the number one thing to remember is, it's a triad. There's three things that you've got to keep in mind when you're trying to succeed with women: the emotional, the physical, and the logistical. And most guys, what they do wrong is, well, they do a lot of things wrong, but what most guys do wrong is they'll ignore the physical and the logistical until it's too late. There's that classic example of, you go on a date with a girl, everything seems to be going well, she's into you, you're into her, you get her back to your place, so okay, maybe the logistics are going fine. And then there's that weird tension that builds up until you make your move, and then it's awkward and it doesn't go anywhere. And that's a classic failure that can be prevented by the triad model. That's just, you're introducing the physical stuff far too late. One of the key implications of the triad model is touch early, touch often. You want to move, you don't want to be too far along emotionally and logistically before you've gotten anywhere physically. Or the other way around. You can't just go up and grope a girl before you've got your emotions work, the emotional stuff working. And for guys that get good, it's really, then it becomes all about the logistics. You take, a guy that's finished up with the Love, at the Love System Super Conference, and he's got all these skills, then, you put him in the right situation, 9 times out of 10, he's going to get the girl. But the logistics always gets in the way. Okay, how do you deal with her friends? How do you deal with the fact that she's got to, she says she's got to drive home? How do you deal with, other logistical objections? How do you get her alone with you somewhere where things could reasonably progress? And so keep all three of those dimensions in mind at the same time. And when you're in doubt about what to do next, just move to the center. Move to the center of the triad. Progress, emotionally, physically, or logistically. And they're not all options are going to be open to you all at the same time. You're at a nightclub, it's 10 o'clock, you're just meeting this woman. You're probably not going to do too much logistically. You can move her around the club a little bit, get her used to going different places with you, but you're not really going to separate from your friends and her friends. You're not really going to take her home and so on. But you've got to be thinking about your logistics from early on. And that's why, as a quick aside, if you're going for something to happen the same night, you've got to screen for logistics early. You don't want to spend 2 hours talking to somebody only to find out, she's already got plans for after, at midnight she's just going to leave and go to some other party without you. Or, she's got a 2-hour drive home, or she's here with her judgmental best friend or whatever. You got to figure that stuff out very early on in the night, if that's what you're going for. If you're going for a phone number and a date, less of a big deal. But so the first thing to keep in mind is it is a triad: emotional, physical, and logistical. So if you're confused, always move to the center. If you're doing something that's not designed to help you along one or more of those dimensions, don't do it. Random fluff talk that's not helping you connect with her emotionally is pointless. Take it out. Love systems is as much about things that you're not doing as things that you're doing. So that's the first key implication. And then the next one is that within each of these, things happen in a specific order. With the emotional side, for example, there's attraction comes before qualification, and qualification comes before comfort. It happens in that specific order. That's not an accident. And that's just because of how female psychology works. And a lot of guys do this in the opposite order. They'll approach a woman and try to build comfort with her. Hi, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you do? And every once in a while this will work because, either she's into him anyway, or, he happens to hit on some kind of commonality, like they're both from the same obscure hometown, or they both work in the same industry, or know the same people, or so on. But that's not really a high percentage shot. And so if you're just going up to a woman trying to build comfort with her right away, it's, she gets 10 guys a night trying to come up to her and build comfort, and she's got no reason to invest in any of them. You have to give her a reason why she should bother to get to know you first. And that's through, attraction and qualification. And we're actually going to be covering these two topics in some of the next DVDs. And then at a more advanced level, you can start to see how the different legs of the triad relate to each other. And to give you one example, when you hit a level of romantic touch on the physical progression model, that automatically means that you have attraction on the emotional model. So, sometimes you'll be beating your head against the wall, in one particular area. Well, switch over to another one, and that'll sometimes unlock where you are, emotionally or physically or logistically. One thing I will say about the Love Systems Triad model is, despite its popularity and, how people are using it around the world and so on, it's a tool, not a straitjacket. So you really need to use it and experiment with it and make it your own. I mean, try pushing its boundaries. Try breaking the rules sometimes. It's only by that kind of experimentation and making it your own that it becomes instinctive. Because most people, when they're going out at first, okay, you've got to remember, okay, what am I doing to progress emotionally? What am I doing to progress physically? What am I doing logistically? And if you train your mind to do that, after a very short amount of time, that'll become instinctive to you. And that's when it becomes really, really powerful. So, the Triad model was originally released as part of, the Love Systems Routines Manual, Volume 2. The Routines Manual is basically it's your word-for-word scripts of what, the most successful guys around the world are doing. So whereas you can't necessarily come out with us when we go out to a bar or club and we're picking up beautiful women, you can read the word-for-word scripts of exactly what it is that we're saying, and then what we, she does this, so we do that, or if she does this, we do that. And these are, because there's so much variation within love systems anyway, I mean, some of these, we call them routines, there's a lot of diversity in them. I mean, there's routines for day game, night game, there's routines for early on, there's routines for last minute resistance, and everywhere in between. But because the Triad model became so popular and because everyone, it's really the foundation for everything that we do at Love Systems, we actually ended up taking it, added as well as a free download on the Love Systems website. So I'd recommend you go to lovesystems.com/triad, download it, print it out, and that way you've got, your own reference material that you can take notes on and, make it your own. I think it'd be a very powerful tool for you.